then you're back to North Korea, right? I mean, if in the old days you stopped agricultural revolution or you stopped industrial revolution, you wouldn't have helped anyone. Yeah. And you can already see at the moment the fastest shrinking job category in America is retail assistants. And why? Because of Amazon and e-commerce. Now, what is happening right now and will accelerate very fast is the fastest shrinking job category will be center agents. And the minute we have autonomous driving, which in certain controlled environments already work. So I mean, in the harbor in Singapore, the trucks are all driven autonomously. Meanwhile, the cleaning robots on Changi Airport are all autonomous. But the minute you have proper autonomous vehicles, drivers will be the next biggest job category that will shrink very, very quickly. Yeah. And I mean, the good news is we are replacing a lot of terribly boring jobs. Yeah. I mean, who enjoys really working in a call center or driving the whole day? So the opportunity is to create new jobs that are where we talk about marketing and marketing automation. Still, somebody has to develop the value propositions, the service products, the positioning. This all will be people. So people will work much more on the creative side of things. They will work much more on the interactive, the interpersonal part of things. So there will be new jobs, but of course, these jobs also require new skills. And I think that's really the responsibility of governments, of regulators, of educational institutions, of industry to prepare current and future workforce and population for what's going to happen. Now to bartering, maybe yes, but on a platform business model. I mean, what is I mean, things like Airbnb and Ola and all of those things, they allow people to in a way barter time for money and those things. And I mean, there are tons of platforms coming up where you can generate income with your own skills, with some assets you have that are underutilized. So I think there will be many more business models coming that help us as individuals to be much more our own entrepreneurs and our own stewards of where we are going with our lives and our personal development. And I think the last thing is really my co-author, Pascal Bonnet. He is incredibly optimistic of what intelligent automation will do. So he sees all of us sitting by the beach and reading novels. And I think, I mean, I'm a bit more with Mr. Goel's point of view that yes, there will be an unemployment issue. So question is, do thoughts like general basic income and other ways to help people who do not find a footing in this new economy, will they gain traction? Yes, I'm happy to discuss more, but I also don't want to monopolize, so I hand over back to Mr. Goel.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My question.
Sir, can I join just for 1 minute?
Yeah, please be brief. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute. You know, the question that you are asking about automation or robots is the same question India had faced in 1975 when Rajiv Gandhi had introduced computerization. And the same issue was raised in terms of unemployment. But
which year new industries. You said, Dr. Mohanlal, which year you have mentioned?
I'm talking about after 84, 85, you know, when Rajiv Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi came into picture.
Yes,
so he talked about this particular thing, and a new industry came up into this, and India created the people for the world. My feeling is that even today also the government is doing a lot in terms of blockchain technology, AI, data analytics, only for this thing. Now, last point I would like to say here is that even in certain industries where people are underhanded, like agriculture, AI is going to help them. In India, farming now is using blockchain as well as using AI. So from that point of view also, this will be useful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now my question is to Dr. Seven. Dr. Seven, you spoke about the countries, how the countries have to change. Now, my question to you is, do you think reimagining marketing is not only for the corporates or the individuals, but it is to be adopted by the countries to save the existing businesses and the country's economy? I can give a very small example of Singapore. I visited Singapore somewhere in 1984. At that time, it was a very small country, and it has changed. Because at that time their economy was depending on the duty-free shopping, largely from India and all those countries. Now, when the Indian economy was opened, that thing is stopped, almost stopped. The Singapore has changed and make a tourist a destination in a very, very big way. The country has transformed, and still that's why the Singapore is on top. So my point is, in this condition, as the post-COVID era, now when the condition is so bad, the countries have to change their marketing strategy so that more and more footfalls or more business will be attracted to that country. What you say about this, Dr. Seven Hollins?
Yeah, thank you very much for this introduction. Yeah, very interesting. And by the way, it's very nice to hear from Singapore, from Jochen, because you know that Denmark and Singapore are among the world's top ranking on the most competitive countries of the world. The last ranking from IMD in Switzerland said that Singapore is #1 and Denmark is #2. So we are still #2, but we are heading maybe someday to place #1. But Singapore is, you know, a fantastic country, also according to these rankings. I would say that my country can do a lot more. Especially on taxation and all these issues. A country like Singapore is much more competitive. But what we are really good at in Denmark is green efforts. And that is actually something I would also like to raise here. Another mega trend at the moment, at least in this part of the world, in Scandinavia. And that is the mega trend in green energy. And that is so important right now. So after we have come over the COVID-19, the next mega trend will be green energy handling. A government like Denmark has now decided that they will reduce the CO2, the carbon emission, with 70% in 2030. So we are really in this sense in the front of countries in this area, and I think this mega trend will go along with all other trends that we will see in future. And Jochen is really so inspiring to listen to you, Jochen, from Singapore, about the B2C services and the services platform within business to consumer and consumer to consumer. The chatbots and all the services in the consumer area. But another important thing is, of course, to look at the B2B service platforms. And a service platform like IoT will be tremendous important in future, I think. Internet of Things is another mega trend because that can go in hand with energy saving carbon emission. Because I have done quite lately done some research on how you can save energy, how you can save CO2 by forming Internet of Things platforms, for example, in buildings, where you try to measure heat consumption, measure consumption from use of air condition, etc. and try also at the same time to have a nice comfort in the apartments in a building. And in order to do that, you need to form a platform on the B2B level, and I think that is very important also in future.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Halansan. Very briefly, Mr. Jain, my question to you is, do you think in new normal, brick mortar malls and shops will suffer the most? And if so, what is the solution for their survival? Very brief, 1 minute.
Thank you again. I would say that now in education, we say the learning experience. Similarly, in shopping, it would be the shopping experience. And no longer the shopping experience can be the same as before. So like any other product, I think we need to think of a value proposition. We have to bring in new features. Just to give you an example, earlier, I mean, when people used to go in a showroom, they used to try out different clothes. But with technology today, you just have to pick a cloth in your hand, and it will, I mean, put yourself into that dress, and you can imagine that what it would be like. So I think we need to bring in those technologies into the system, I mean, to make a shift. And also, I think just to add one of the barter things, I just wanted to reflect very quickly that no longer the barter, which is the, I mean, you need to break your learning. So it can be something like in education, if I were to say, it would be credit-based learning, and therefore you need to have smaller modules because loyalty is not going to be the same. You cannot continue to buy a Marks and Spencer or a Zara forever. So since the customer is not loyal, you need to be continuously innovating that what is that value addition piece, how quickly you need to bring in new collection season after season, or maybe within season, you need to create mini seasons, mini occasions around which you need to bring back the customer to your shop so that they can buy out more and you can have a bigger sell through. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jain. So today you have seen the brains, the top brains of marketing, rather I will say marketing gurus. They have given the ideas about the reimagining marketing, and which is because today we all know that the world is facing most difficult time in this century, and that's why one has to change their marketing strategy, as somebody has mentioned, as well as to change their attitude, their aptitude, and then only they can survive. And the survival is very important, and that is only possible if we will change our marketing strategy drastically, and then only we will be able to sustain ourselves. Thank you very much for giving your views. And today's telecast, which live telecast was done by V4 News, Malnadu TV, Global TV, V4 Stream, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day very, very serious topic. But tomorrow is Sunday, and Sunday is always a edutainment day. That is educational entertainment. And tomorrow, media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. is Surtal with Preeti Pinky. Yes, you have heard correctly. The Preeti Pinky, the renowned playback singer as well as leading Dandiya queens from Mumbai, will be joining and singing the songs, very, very popular song. I will just say one song which is very, very popular, O Pia Pia, O Pia Pia, which has chart busted at one time in India and in the world also, rather I must say. So tomorrow, please join at 10:30, media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Sheth, Professor Dr. Mohan Agrawal, Professor Dr. Joshan, Professor Dr. Seven Holson, and Mr. Nishit Jain for joining us. And thank you very much, viewers, for viewing today's very enlightening program about the reimagining marketing. Thank you very much.